Oh, no, everything's the same, ma'am.
All righty, we will start in just a moment.
Okay. Thank you so much. Man, it's bad reception all over this building. Sorry, Judge, I was trying to get on right here. I'm not. Cancel. Yeah, I'll let him know. You see that? I know it's a Jason.
Jason, could you clear the screen on your end, please? Jason Garehand. That's okay. Could you clear the screen on your end? Oh. Thank you. Yes.
Not sure if it's family.
All right, everyone, please take a seat. You know, since we're off on Friday, somebody's like, yay, we're off on Friday because of holiday. I told them that only means one thing. Monday is going to be a Monday and a Friday. That's the way it works out. Is that what I'm predicting? Yes. Has that prediction always come true? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
Make sure the phones are on silent or on off.
All right. When I call your name, let me know you are here. If you don't answer, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Mark Anthony Aragon. Mark Anthony Aragon. You know what? That name is a combination of Julius Caesar, right? With Mark Anthony, and then Aragon from the Lord of the Rings, and they're not here. Jason Brown. Jason Renard Brown. In custody, we have Jacqueline Wallace, Matthew Gonzalez. Joel Delgado or Joel Delgado in custody, Michael Cox. Michael Cox. In custody, Jacob Flores, Christopher Barreau. In custody is Eliseo Perez Rodriguez, Xavier Garcia. No, he's right there. In custody, we have Gregory Wuchon, King Alvarado, Rogelio Sanchez, custody. Ruben Hawkins should be in impact court. Jaime Pena. Jaime Pena. Oh, thank you. Jose Lozano. Come in, have a seat. Kevin Robinson. Sergio Salinas is in custody. Again, Jason Brown. All right. In custody, we have Jorge Macias Castro, Martha Garcia, Fabian Cardenas. Fabian Cardenas, you should be in impact court. Just give us a moment. We'll give you instructions. Jose Torres. In custody, Jonathan Bolden, Nelda Rios, Roberto Mendoza Perez, Raymond Alejandro. Good morning. Alejandro Black, you should be in impact. Joseph Harris. Thank you. John Maria Simmons should be in impact. All right, they'll let you know where you need to go. Robbie Gonzalez. In custody, Luis Contreras, Cruz Rivas, Raymond Ruiz, Daniel Duron, Courtney Pride. Courtney Pride. Stephen Ward. In custody is Cruz Rivas, James William Brooks.
President, Council, Your Honor.
Thank you. Donald Davis. In custody, we have Sergio Garcia, Anthony Trevino. Anthony Trevino. Is that someone? Okay. Why do people peep through the glass and don't come in? Thank you. John Meyer.
Your Honor, I'll locate him.
Okay. Jasmine Shaw. All right, you should be in impact. We'll let you know. Priscilla Gonzalez is in custody. Curtis Williams. Curtis Williams. Tyler Small is in custody. He didn't raise his hand. Okay. Tyler Small is in custody. Sarah Espinoza. Stephen Neely is in custody. Felix Apolinar. In custody is Raymond Ruiz. Stephen Neely. Zachary Sanchez.
I can do the honor for Mr. Sanchez. Will be confirmed.
Thank you. Christopher Cantu is in custody. Ariel Reyes. Ariel Reyes. John Stephen Meyer. John Stephen Meyer.
Judge, it's on the cases.
All right, thank you. Luis Silva. Luis Benjamin Silva. Andy Fuentes. Thank you. Luis Gomez. Kang. Ngun Kang. Last name C-U-N-G, first name N-G-U-N. Dakari Jackson. Where? Yvette Martinez. Yvette Martinez. Brendan Ortiz Navarro. Arturo Vara. Chan Stelzik is in custody. Brandon Guzman, that's this morning for motions, correct? Steve Terrazas. Annabelle Bishop. In custody, we have Jaime Pena and Chris Lind. Is there anyone who arrived late or your name was not called? Yes, what's your name? Kayla. Anyone else? All right, all the persons who I called who are supposed to be in impact court and Kayla Callahan, if you'll come right here and line up before the court coordinator, please. All right, everyone else, these are the rules of the court. Do not approach the court coordinator right here. Come through the gate and the court coordinator is right here. All right, these are the rules of the court. If you're asking for a reset or continuance, do not approach the court coordinator. I'm the only person who can give you a reset or a continuance. If your client is in custody, once you request your client, do not leave the courtroom because If you leave the courtroom, there are other inmates who need to be brought out, and the deputies are only allowed to bring out a certain number for security reasons. There are boxes for the state. On this side, that's criminal trial division. On this side is family violence. Please just grab a file, sit it on the desk, take a seat, and the prosecutors will call you in the order of appearance. All right, today is Monday. Let's keep that good feeling that we had over the weekend. Be kind and be patient. Everyone, please confer. Thank you. Deputy Laura, I'll be right back. Okay, all right. I'll be right back.
I don't have.
The PSI for Matthew Gonzalez, can I attach this as an addendum?
One also, one.
Yeah.
One is also, here, 18. 146, 18.
Good morning. I just want to let you know, Matthew Gonzalez, I'm gonna go into PSI with him, but I've attached a real quick report from a mitigation specialist as an addendum. I know that I just gave it to you, so I'll go run a bunch of forms whenever you're ready. Yeah, and I was like condensed it 2 pages.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure, just let me know when you're ready.
Thank you.
Oh, is there a new one?
No. That's all in that copy.
New come? Thank you. I don't know. Secretary Jackson? Anthony Benny?
Yeah.
Okay. Janie Benny? Michael Hart?
You gotta remember.
All right, if I could see Detective Ruby, please. If you'll just come around this way, please. You solemnly swear to affirm all is true and correct in your personal knowledge. Correct?
It was a really weird case.
No, I was able to-
I was.
No, I was.
I read it up and I'm like, there's no way this is gonna work because it's confusing.
Yeah, no.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let me just sign this.
Thank you. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Yes, ma'am, you too.
Caroline. This, I don't believe this was a family violence case that Jason did the plea, but it should be an affirmative finding of deadly weapons. Sure.
Well, it doesn't help.
And also, we're not supposed to do. Oh, I had an idea. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay.
But not until 12 because I was.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Well, then that was it, and then that was it.
And Caroline, could I see the file on Matthew Gonzalez? He said he added some
Yeah, it's right before you did that, or right after it.
all right, thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. Second signature. It's right there.
One more. Thank you. Brands on one end of the other. No. Yeah, I got.
Sure. You can unmute us. Thank you.
Simple.
What I meant to say is hello.
Thank you.
All right.
Caroline. Who's here on Robbie Gonzalez?
I'm here on that. Good.
All right, where's Robbie Gonzalez?
Sorry.
Where is Robbie Gonzalez?
He's coming up.
Caroline, I finished reading this. So whenever they're ready. Let me find him. All right, if everybody will take their seat, I will call you after I finish the case. I have your file. It'll be next in line. All right. So my understanding is your client is previously rejected the plea offer. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. We're announcing ready for trial.
All right. How long do you expect this trial to last?
2 to 3 days, I would imagine.
3 days.
Are there any videos?
I don't believe there are.
Defense, any videos?
Not that I'm aware of that we would be using. Judge.
All right, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. You always do. I appreciate that. Ms. Ferguson, on this case, I need a jury trial date. They're telling me it will take 2 to 3 days. May when? All right, so we're going to be back on May 23rd. We're currently in a jury trial, so that's why we're setting you for May 23rd. Are there any motions or anything that the court needs to hear?
Not at this time, Judge. I don't believe there are.
All right, and you have all the discovery?
I believe we do, yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form and then your excuse. Thank you. Well, Delgado. All right, if you all can slide this way. Yes. All right, are you ready to proceed on the MTR?
We actually just have a couple of questions. That's why we were approaching.
Or what are the questions?
Do you allow resets on MTRs?
No, what do we need to reset for?
He's given the offer today and he would just like some time to think about it.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can sit in, how old are you? All right, you can sit and think about it in the box. Okay. All right, just let me know when you're ready.
So, real quick.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
They're upstairs pre-tracking right now.
Okay. All right. The parties on Felix Apolinar. Caroline. See if you can tell if that's one of the people for his trial. See if you can tell if that's someone from a trial we have coming up. Because they were bench warranted from TDC. Where's your attorney? Oh, just have a seat. As soon as he comes back, we'll take it up. What I, ah, all right, I'm sorry, Mr. Polinar, come back. Hello. State. On Felix Apolinar, it's criminal trial division. On this case, the defense attorney, your attorney is in jury trial in another county, so he won't be here. So he's filed a motion for continuance, so the court is going to grant that. People can't be in two places at the same time. But state, the defense is going to be asking for a motion to suppress, and they think it may be dispositive.
Okay, good.
So if you could reach out to the defense attorney and see what that's about.
Okay, good.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. This needs to be reset for jury trial. What date? All right, so you're going to come back on May 16th for your jury trial. The court coordinator will give you a reset and then you are excused. And sir, I'll make the May 16th, I'll make that your plea deadline date and your jury trial date since your attorney is not present. So what that means is on that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the plea or not, and whether or not, if you decide not to accept the plea, then you will have jury trial on that date. Do you understand? All right. And Ms. Ferguson, if you'll let defense counsel know. Oh, I have it. Are you ready to proceed?
From Daisy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Norma, what date did you give Felix Apolinar? Okay, all right, thank you.
I was gonna ask you.
All right, thank you. All right, are the parties ready on Joel Delgado? All right, the court is going to call 2014 CR 9819W, State of Texas versus Joel Delgado. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
defense?
Michael Bellable for Mr. Delgado.
Are you Joel Delgado?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Joel Delgado who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2014 CR 9819W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on January 27, 2015 for a period of 5 years? Is that you? All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 5 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Joel
Delgado did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer in person for the months of September through December 2017 and January through August 2018 in violation of mission number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violation.
No objections.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5? Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
It is adjudicate guilt, revoke the individual office probation, and a sentence him to 2 years in Texas Department of Corrections.
That is the agreement.
All right, are you asking the court to follow that agreement? Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. Court will find you guilty, not grant you community supervision. Court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. State, did he pay the restitution for the drug testing? Did you pay the restitution for drug testing?
Your Honor, $15 and $57.
All right, that leaves you with a balance of $42. So the court is going to order $42 restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Yes, counsel?
He has 58 days credit and he completed ISF for 90 days. Does he get credit for those 90 days?
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
All right, I'm showing you what's in, where's everybody going? Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
no problem. I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yeah.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. What are your plans for your future, Mr. Delgado?
I can work and take care of my grandkids.
All right, so here's the thing. You didn't do well on probation. You had better change your life. Otherwise, what you're going to discover is you're going to be in and out of jail, in and out of prison, telling the same story. So if you want your grandchildren to look up to you, you're going to have to start doing what's right. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, there are plenty of places that are free. You can go to NA meetings, AA meetings. I think now they call them sober support meetings. And there are other organizations that will let you still live with them, sober living homes. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Hello.
Your Honor,
Yes,
exactly,
you need to have the file pulled, have the file pulled.
but I'm not supposed to go to the coordinator with
No, the clerk. Yeah, just have the clerk pull the file.
that.
All right, and where's your client, Mr.?
Sanchez, stand up on.
All right, come forward, sir. And Mr. DeLeon, you're on this side and your client's in the center. This is only your second time here.
Yes, I'm getting used to it.
Yes.
So,
Oh,
so Your Honor, this is Mr. Sanchez here.
all right, so we have discovery, CPS records. They said they were in the possession of the state. Have they turned those over?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor. This Mitchell.
Family violence? Hi. All right, hi. On this case, we were here on February 28th, and it said that the CPS records were in the possession of the state. And I signed the protective order.
Okay. I will, yeah, we have them. I don't. You do not have them. Okay.
Not yet.
I'll make sure that we get a copy before meetings.
And I'll check back with Ms. Mitchell, Your Honor, so we can
Yeah.
work on discovery and then we can come back and continue to confirm.
All right, so was an offer tendered?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna give you one more 30-day reset. At the next setting, everybody needs to be prepared to file an acknowledgement for discovery. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Sanchez. All right, so it's gonna be May 8th. And after that date, I'm gonna give you a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date. You understand? You have any questions? What's the plea deadline date?
I'll explain it to him.
Your attorney will explain it to you. All right.
Are we free to go on it?
Yes, you are free to go once he does his reset form.
Reset form?
Yes, there is. I know you're new on this side.
Will you do that right now?
Oh, Ms. Ferguson will give it to you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes.
Who's here on Jacob Flores? All right, and I want everyone to please have a lot of patience and kindness because we only have one attorney here for criminal trial division. So they're multitasking. All right, court is calling 2015 CR 1361, State of Texas versus Jacob Anthony Flores. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Eric Hernandez.
Are you Jacob Anthony Flores? Showing you a document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision.
Your Honor, if I may interrupt you.
Yes.
We're asking that this case be recalled for Thursday, April 6th. He
Wha-
is set for a plea that afternoon on misdemeanor case, and the state wants to make sure he gets that resolved. And we're asking this to be brought back that
He's
morning.
shaking his head.
I understand he wants to get this resolved. I'm just telling you what the state's position is, and I was talking to Ruben, not for.
That's correct, Your Honor. We did confer with counsel. He is set for plea on Thursday, so we'd like to have that plea and then resolve that.
What time is he set for the plea on Thursday? Is that 9 a.m.? All right, Ms. Ferguson. Can we recall this for, we would have to recall it.
We can do it by Zoom, Your Honor, because 7 will have him present by Zoom for the plea at 1:30.
All right. So 7 is doing Zoom.
For inmates that are, for those in custody for pleas, yes, Your Honor, they're doing it by Zoom.
Okay, so what is anticipating on happening with this case?
It's going to plea on the misdemeanor charges, and then we're going to be recommending revocation on the MTA for we're asking for an adjudication of guilt on that, and then sentencing him to regular based on probation recommendation.
Okay, well, this is gonna have to be reset and Thursday is not gonna be a good day. So it'll have to be reset to next week.
Your Honor, we could resolve the NTR if the state wants to do the NTR, the court wants to. Help.
I mean, it'd have to be called back Monday of next week. Yeah, I'm sorry, Thursday of next week.
Would Wednesday of this week be an option?
No, we're in jury trial.
Let me confirm for the state if I may, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Could I see Detective Arguello, please? Sir, if you're from this way. Are they ready again on Jacob Anthony Flores or no? Yes. All right, if I could have the parties back on Jacob Anthony Flores, please. So are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right, the court is calling 2015 CR 1361, State of Texas versus Jacob Anthony Flores. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state, for the defense?
Eric Hernandez for the defendant.
And are you Jacob Anthony Flores? Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Jacob Anthony Flores who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2015 CR 1361 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 to 4 grams on June 22nd, 2015 for a term of 5 years and extended for 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is proceeding on violation of condition number 1, and that on or about the 20th day of April 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, defendant Jacob Anthony Flores committed the offense of assault in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State?
State is waiving all of those.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor, state is recommending court enter adjudication of guilt, revoking defendant's deferred adjudication, placing him on regular probation, and amending for biweekly drug test for 90 days, and an IOP with lifetime recovery, and amending also further for the defendant to attend a batteries intervention.
All right. Is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Flores, why should I follow this agreement? Because you've been before me before. You were before a previous judge. And then you had a motion to revoke with them. Then you had a motion to revoke with me. And now you're back for, let me see. You had a motion to revoke with me in 2019 of June. And then you came back with the motion to revoke in 2019 of July 23rd. So why shouldn't I just send you to prison? It seems like you don't want to follow rules.
Well, all the rules is just I was in my 20s, I grew up now.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What?
I do love all the rules, it's just I was in my 20s, you know, and I spent 32 now, I grew up, when I was a boy no more, I found out.
You, sorry, something, what did you say about you grew up?
I grew up like young, like, when I started off, I was like in my 20s. Like, I grew up, like I'm mature now, you know, like, now I know responsibility that comes behind this.
But you were not in your 20s on April 2021. When were you, how old are you?
I'm 32.
You're 32? You were not in your 20s in 2019?
I don't know, but I thought you weren't talking about the whole back thing, you know.
No, I'm talking about you doing poorly on probation.
No, I know, and then I got my GED, you want me to get my GED, I got my GED. You sent me the whole thing was you sent me the ISF, and then you said for me not to get extended. And when you started, if somebody stepped out, another judge signed off on it, my extension, I was supposed to be off of it. And they kept extending me for non-payment, but I get a disability check. So I don't understand, I understand that.
So here's the thing. The fact that you were extended, that means absolutely nothing to you picking up new offenses. So that's just telling me if you were not extended, you would have picked up a new offense and you would have just had that new offense instead of probation. So again, we're back to the question of why should I extend you? We've tried with you and it hasn't worked out. I sent you to state ISF. Did he complete that?
Yes.
So probation, why should I agree to this? I don't understand why I should be doing this.
I'll give you that chance to change.
Yeah, if you have something to say, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I still give this one more chance.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I can to show you that I can do this one more last time, give me one more chance, I can prove.
You've had 3 chances to show me something. Probation, why is probation asking? I don't understand this.
Your Honor, I really think that they were wanting to see what the disposition of any case was going to be.
If you can give me one more chance to show you, I can finish the probation.
Did he successfully complete ISF?
Let me just double check.
Your Honor, probably on behalf of Mr. Flores.
Yes.
I believe he was motivated for drug treatment. I think if he's sent to TC, it's not going to get any treatment there. And I believe it just gives him the best opportunity to be successful after probation is completed. And certainly not when it comes up back in this court with very few favors to ask.
Your Honor, he did successfully complete ISF.
All right, thank you. All right, the court, as previously stated, is finding violation of condition number 1 true. Counsel, here you are. Court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served and credit for any time served in ISF. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better in your life. All right, you're welcome.
That's the end.
Well, I think the way.
This one not go.
Mhm.
Caroline, we tried. I don't see it in the file. Could you look on the system and see the ones that was denied? Because I've been looking through these files and I don't see it.
Really? That's.
He's saying, Caroline, he's saying November 4th, 2019. I think he's saying all. Ngon Kong. All right, where is he?
Here.
All right, he needs to come forward. What's his language? Wait, HA. All right, Norma, can you see? Oh, I'm sorry, just have a seat. Norma, can you see if we can have a translator down, see if someone. What's called an exotic language. I don't even know why they say it is an exotic language. Is English exotic language or is it just so common?
Has the world revolved around us?
Yeah, it's such a common language. All right, well, bring his friend up. Counsel, your client was late for court. All right, so who's the client? All right, so if you could get in the center and sir, if you'll be on this side. All right, can you let him know that court starts at 9 and he cannot be late again? Okay. All right, so where are we on this case?
We're ready to take a plea offer. We just want to let the court know that there is going to be a translation issue, so we need to set it whenever the
Okay.
translators available.
And is there any immigration issue? All right, so Ms. Ferguson, can we set this for a plea and let them know that if the interpreter is out of county or somewhere, we can do it by Zoom with the interpreter? All right, and I usually don't interfere with plea negotiations, but can you tell me, is this a plea for time or a plea for deferred, or is it silent?
Reduction to a misdemeanor probation.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, we can do it by Zoom and let them know, the interpreter, we can do it by Zoom. If we get the interpreter, can you let him know what I'm saying? If we get the interpreter by Zoom, it may be easier for everyone than if all parties are on Zoom. All right, so counsel, would you be able to do it by Zoom?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, since they're saying it's going to be 2 weeks, are they certain it's 2 weeks? Is that what they said today? Oh, we can ask the interpreter who's already here. Excuse me. Hi, hey, how long does it take to get an interpreter for an exotic language? I do my hands in quotes.
It's a week, especially if it's in person. If it's via Zoom, it might be quicker.
Yeah, we're going to do it via Zoom,
Okay, perfect.
but the language is HAKHA.
H-A-K-A-K.
HA.
H.
Okay. All right, thank you. So, what language is that? Where is that from?
It's a dialect in Burma.
Ah, okay. Burma is gonna be on my bucket list. I've seen Burma, I've seen the images, never been. I'll need to ask Richard Garcia, how was it? I know he's probably been. Okay, even by Zoom? Oh, no, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna set it for 2 weeks and we're gonna call the jail hotline. All right, so we're gonna set it for April 24th. And if need be, we'll call the jail hotline. Because that's how they magistrate people. They just call that hotline and somebody's available. So let him know his court date is gonna be April 24th. And it will, I guess we can do it by Zoom with the hotline if we need the hotline. If we do the jail hotline. Yes.
Have a language line available, you could call it from the courtroom.
Okay, awesome.
So, and that, or you can just stop and we'll come down and set it up.
Oh, awesome. Okay, we'll do that. We'll set it then for April 24th.
9 o'clock, or back in my office, April 24th. Yes.
All right. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you. How do you say thank you in Burmese? I'm sorry, what? Hello?
Yeah.
And how do you say hurry up? Because I know that in almost every language.
These are run down in.
Yeah, I won't be able to do that.
That's it.
Thank you, and thanks for sharing a different language with me. Oh, thank you. Okay, because he's saying that I denied an investigator. Yeah, I don't either, so.
I'll see if there's a motion. That's easier.
All right, thank you. All right, who's here on Jorge Macias? Yes, if he can come forward. Come on down. And counsel, you're on this side. All right, so where are we in this case? I see that the immigration attorney has been appointed. Has that been resolved?
It has been, Your Honor. I have not received the report yet. But
Okay.
there's a more pressing matter. There's a request for a competence examination, which has not been done.
All right, so has that already been in the system, the request for competency?
Yes, Your Honor, it has.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I'm going to need you to get in contact with Magistrates Court to see when that competency is going to be done. Mr. Macias, have you seen a doctor at all?
No.
Okay. All right, what date do we come back, Ms. Ferguson? All right, we'll come back on May 15th to see where we are. Any other questions, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything you need from the court or any questions you have?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Always great seeing you.
Pleasure.
Yes,
And at what time, or well, if it's a language line, they're gonna be able to.
yeah, 9 o'clock is fine.
Of course.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, thanks. And can I see the file back on Con if I gave that to you? I just need to add something to it. King Alvarado. King Alvarado. Where's his attorney? Good morning. All right, so what's happening with this case?
Judge, I need some additional time. There's some medical records that I need the court to approve turning over to me and some CPS records that I've reviewed this morning. And we're waiting on an offer, so. we can file.
All right, State, do you have the medical records
Do your honor.
and the CPS records?
We have those in progress.
All right, if you all would hand me a protective order, then the court will sign it so that defense can receive those records. So is that the only discovery?
So far, it appears that that's the only thing that's missing, and whatever the DFPS interviews that were conducted with my client. That would be incorporated as part of the second order discovery of the custody.
All right, and the medical records are in your custody, is that correct?
I believe so, your honor.
Yes, they will be instructed affidavit in that file, but in the case they have received 260 papers of medical.
We do have those available.
All right, so Norma, can I have a 30-day reset? All right, May 8th is going to be your final discovery date, and State, you need to prepare to make an offer on that date.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset, then your excuse. Who's here on Ariel Reyes? Counsel, is this just a plea on one case?
One case. Yeah, I see two others.
Court is calling 2023 CR 1750 State of Texas versus Ariel Reyes. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Casey Deerhead, Your Honor.
Defense?
Lieutenant Callahan, Judge.
And are you Mr. Reyes?
Yes,
Counsel, you received all of the discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Reyes, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That is a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, I'll go around, sir. Why? And gives you more than what you bargained for, you can withdraw your plea and your plea will not be used against you. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison? Did you understand? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration 2023 CR 1751, 2023 CR 0471. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with David or Whale. Did you understand that? Those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Yes, state exhibit number 1 with all this attachments, Your Honor.
No
Any
objection.
objections? All right, state, you may be excused. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in or right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No prior record. Both complainants don't really want to prosecute. He has motivation to not get in trouble anymore.
All right. So, Mr. Reyes, who was David to you?
My brother-in-law.
So your brother-in-law was in a hotel room with your girlfriend,
Sister.
your sister?
Her sister.
All right, so why were you there? What did it have to do with you? Because it says that you arrived and you wanted to talk with your girlfriend, Elvia, who was in room 101. You kicked in the door, but did not enter, and David walked outside. So there's no mention of, they say that Elvia is your girlfriend. Was that your girlfriend? Yes or no?
Yes.
So she was in a hotel room with your brother-in-law? Okay. Are you and Elvia still together? Do you all have any children together? Do you have any children? How old are you?
27.
When's the last time you had employment?
Never had one.
So how you supported yourself?
I was doing construction.
All right. How far did you go in school?
9.
All right. Do you have a support system? Who do you live with?
Parents.
Any drug issues?
No.
Okay. All right. Any questions from you?
No, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration 2023 CR 1751, 2023 CR 0471. What is Elvia's last name? Ramirez. Okay, there's to be no contact with Elvia Ramirez and David Arguello. Is your sister still with David Arguello? Do you know? All right, so there's to be no contact with those parties. Anger management. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 15 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. Probation, if you want to count those field visits as him reporting, you can. If you deem that field visits should be discontinued, just let the court know, but they will definitely be there for 4 months. I'm going to want regular UAs. $200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you get the vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. And also the remaining community service hours will be waived if you go to some sort of trade school or get some sort of certificate and some sort of program that can help you improve your lot in life. You understand? Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, is there anything else that you need from the court? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Oh, and I'm sorry, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. All right, did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. When people don't treat you right, when you're in a relationship, and if that relationship is not working, the best thing to do is to cut ties and say, this isn't working, it's over. There's no need to go kicking on doors, trying to see if what you've been told or what you heard is true. If you ever have to ask or do an investigation on whether or not somebody's cheating, that's a sign that that relationship shouldn't be over because there's no trust. You understand? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Courtney Pride? Okay,
Oh, Judge.
good morning. And where is Pride?
He's right here, Judge.
Miss Pride was late today. Why was that?
Because we, for some reason, thought we were supposed to be an impact, so we went over there first and came over here.
Okay. All right. When your name is easily recognizable because there's Charlie Pride, you know, you have to make sure you're on time. Okay, just 1 second. All right, so let me see where we are. So you're scheduled for jury trial today. However, we're currently in trial. So Ms. Ferguson, I'm going to need a jury trial date. How long do y'all expect this to go?
2 days, Judge.
2 days,
Okay,
2.5 for jury selection, maybe.
okay. So 2 days. All right, May 16th. All right, just get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson. Andy Fuentes? Where's the attorney for Andy Fuentes? All right, Mr. Fuentes, just have a seat. Anthony Trevino.
Judge, that is my client. You gave him permission. He's in Colorado.
Yes,
The state tendered a dismissal this morning.
yes. Yeah, don't do what others have done.
Jason Brown is at 11. PSI, he had set him for 11, so he was on the way.
No problem. Roberto Mendoza Perez. All right, state on, this is criminal trial division. On this case, the last note I have is that this was going to be re-indicted, maybe?
Judge, I can double check.
All right, if you'll check on that and then just approach back after he's looked into that.
Okay, sure.
Judge, I'm sorry, I stepped out for a moment, but Andy Fuentes.
All right, Andy Fuentes. And this is family violence. All right, what is happening on this case?
Judge, I have conferred, they're reviewing the case, and will email me an offer.
All right, do you have all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe I do.
All right, Ms. Ferguson on Fuentes, I need a 30-day reset for a plea deadline date. All right, your next date will be May 8th. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer.
Okay.
You're welcome.
And you are?
Jose Lozano.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, Mr. Lozano, thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so we're scheduling this for a jury trial, correct?
Well, we're still waiting on some ACSO cam that we need to get from the prior defense counsel. It's just so that the state doesn't have to burn us copies. We're gonna try to get it from Mr. Aguilera.
Who has the information?
So it should be the defendant's prior defense counsel. I believe current defense was hired, what, a week, 2 weeks ago, recently.
All right, so is that Joseph Aguilar?
Yes.
All right, so he's scheduled for jury trial. How long would you all expect the jury trial to last?
There's a lot of witnesses, probably 3 to 4 days would be my guess. Sounds
All
about right.
Ms. Ferguson, I need a 3 to 4 day reset for jury trial.
And Judge, just so that you're aware, defense indicated that they were gonna file a motion to suppress, so we may take a look at that and then come back and talk about the case some more. It's just making sure that the court is aware.
Okay. All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson? Yes, not April 6th. April 6th?
Did you tell us 3 to 4 days trial?
The trial is 3 to 4 days. No. Thanks. I was like April
I was about to
6th. I'm like,
say.
okay.
May 16th.
All right, we'll be back on May 16th. May 16th will be your jury trial date and plea deadline date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Donald Davis. Who's the attorney for Donald Davis?
I'm here for Mr. Martinez.
All right. All right. So this is a jury trial as well?
Just got a new offer today, Your Honor. So we'd like to speak with Mr. Davis about that and consider it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On Donald Davis, I need a 2-week reset for plea deadline date, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That can be on, April.
All right, April 17th, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form, then you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes.
The state already confirmed that they can come back up and up road to Mendoza.
All right, on Roberto Mendoza Perez, please. So state on this case, is this being re-indicted or no?
No, Your Honor, this is not one that's going to be re-indicted. It's proceeding on the indictment as is. I did tender a different offer today.
Okay. How old are you?
18.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 3-week reset for a plea deadline date. All right, we'll come back on April 24th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the offer.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Jaime Pena. Oh, I'm sorry.
Quick question. I think that the client said in your court tomorrow morning, for an MTR. I have a couple other hearings to go to, but I was just wondering if I might be able to speak with you on that one really quick.
Oh, you have to have the file.
Oh, but I believe they,
Okay,
Christopher Medina.
okay, that's next. Just give me a moment. All right, Jaime Pena,
Judge, we're here to talk to you. about that.
where's Mr. Pena?
He's in custody of banks.
All right, so you have to have the deputies bring him out. All right, Christopher Medina.
Your Honor. It's, last time we had, hearing on this was a set bond, and you had to make sure you were going with this case.
Yes.
You picked the name of the one. We're gonna be representing you on that.
Mhm.
That's set in the county court on April 11th.
Okay.
That, I believe that you number one is more than likely gonna get resolved. I was just basically asking the court if we could go through with that. See what's going on there before we approach here in the MTL.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Christopher Medina for MTR, are you able to call this back on April 13th? All right, we'll see you on April 13th.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes, let me give it to you. You're welcome.
Judge, Mr. Pena, the deputy tells me he is downstairs and they are full.
don't know what they mean by that.
Okay. All right.
It's
Yeah.
not for a plea, it was just about his bond.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be, I can't address any issues with bond. He's not here. Raymond Alejandro. Hello. Do we need to call services for this client or no?
Call services?
Yes, last time you were here, we had the issue outside in the hallway.
Or that's
Oh,
Hallway.
oh,
So, Your Honor.
hello. Oh, opposite, you're on this side, counsel, you're on this side. All right, so today's jury trial date and plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge, I've conferred with Ms. Mitchell. We are not going to be accepting any offers. We would like to have it placed on the jury trial docket. We did receive a couple thousand pages of CPS and medical records about a month ago. Just enough time to review those and anticipate.
And I'll tell you, with CPS records, when it's 1,000 pages, there are only usually 20 pages that are original. Everything else is the copy. That's just usually the way it works.
That's kind of what's happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm seeing.
All right, how long do you expect this trial to last?
3 or 4 days.
Sounds about right, Judge.
Any videos?
Nothing long if there is one.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Raymond Alejandro. They're telling me it should take about 3 days. All right, your jury trial date will be June 6th.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. You can be excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, you too. Jacqueline Wallace.
Ready. Go Tigers.
Yes, and people are complaining about the refereeing. And there was some crying. There should be no crying in basketball. You know, I feel it. As someone who was a forward, there's no crying. But if you realize that referees are calling the game tightly, you know what you do? You change the way you play. You don't complain about it because everybody was getting fouls called. LSU, as we've known to do, the bench played fabulously.
What's the referee in question from Louisiana, Judge?
All right, so you know what? I want to gag our arm against Mr. Mauer.
My dad was happy.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about him. I was like, yay. And everybody was texting me. They were like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And of course, me, even if you're up by 100 points and it's 2 minutes left in the game, I'm like, don't text me. There's still 2 minutes left. But yeah, it was awesome. All right, we're back on 2022 CR 3725B, State of Texas versus Jacqueline Wallace. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
John Coons for Ms. Wallace.
All right. So we are, and are you Ms. Wallace? All right, we're back. The reason why we're back is because the court was making a determination on whether or not to give you deferred adjudication because the court heard some things from both parties that gave the court pause. Is there anything else either party would like to say to the court before I make my announcement?
Judge, just, I know you have a memory like a steel trap, so I don't need to follow up too much, but if you'll recall, there were 2 complainants on this case, one of which was my client's ex-boyfriend, and you were discussing with my client the passion and the rage that must have gone into her thought process, basically, in terms of why this happened. The female complainant is the one that wrote a letter to my client while she was in jail. She has forgiven my client. It sounds like she wants to move on with her life and doesn't seem particularly opposed, if at all, to my client getting the deferred. Interestingly, the complainant who is opposed is my client's ex-boyfriend, the one that was cheating on her, the one that my client was supporting, the one that never.
All right, everyone, please whisper.
The one that never had a job. The one that has been seeking medical bills for these nebulous medical expenses that he can't provide any proof for. It's my understanding he's homeless now because he hasn't found another sugar mama, so to speak. So based upon what you've heard, the facts coming from both complainants, I think that Jacqueline is an appropriate person to get referred. She's been in custody now for about 15 months. And she's been away from all of her children this time. It's been very difficult for her and her family. She has most certainly learned her lesson, Judge. She'll comply with any terms and conditions that the court deems appropriate. And so we would request that you place her on deferred.
All right, and I'll note that the state, you're silent, is that correct?
You're silent, Your Honor.
All right. Any issues you which to speak to, which are what you would deem questionable facts that are being presented by Ms. Wallace from last hearing or no?
Your Honor, I believe we clarified in the PSI, there was a statement from her where she said that there was no one else involved. I did clarify that on questioning Ms. Wallace, and she did affirm again that Juan Rosmana was there and was not a participant with her. So I don't have any other issues.
All right, so Ms. Wallace, I'm going to give you a choice. Normally, I can't give people choices, but the state is silent. I can sentence you to 5 years prison. Because of the nature of the case, you would have to do half the time before you're eligible for parole. Or either I can give you 9 years deferred adjudication. If at any time you're deferred adjudication, if you were revoked, the court would be able to sentence you up to life in prison. So what would you prefer?
Deferred.
All right, and counsel, Ms. Claudia is saying that her medical expenses were $2,000. Any objections to that?
No.
And then I think Renee Patina is saying his expenses were $1,500.
We will object to that.
All right, state, do you have any medical?
We do not, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, this is what the court will do. Court will sentence you to 9 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated.
Thank you, Judge.
Taking consideration 2022 CR 3726A. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to want intensive parenting classes. I know you've already completed it with CPS, but I'm going to want those done again because there are decisions that should be made and you should be thinking about that when you're taking these actions. There's to be no contact with Margie Claudio, Claudio, or Renee Patino. There's to be restitution of $2,000 to Margie Claudio. Anger management. CPS compliance if applicable. Probation, I'm going to want the UA hotline until further notice with testing at least once a week, proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors. I'm going to want supportive, counsel, they're recommended intensive outpatient treatment. So I'm going to go with their recommendation.
Okay.
Intensive outpatient treatment with probation. And there's to be sober meetings. And I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, if you want to count the field visit as reporting, you can. And please tell them when they go do the field visits to make sure that the home is appropriate for children. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. When you have children, your children 100% depend on you. I've told people this 1,000 times. When you have underage children, you can't just have them and put them off at Travis Park and say good luck to you. So your children depend on you. And this time that you've been in the Bexar County Jail, your children have been without you. Children do not like, and they do not understand when parents say they're going to be somewhere and they're not. The last thing you should do is let some other relationship take precedence over your children. And that's why you're here, because you let that relationship take priority over your children. And here's the other thing. When a man or somebody is doing you wrong in a relationship, don't go attacking somebody else who owes you zero loyalty, and don't go attacking anybody. What you do is you say, you know what? Either I'm going to accept that this person is treating me poorly and cheating on me, or either I'm going to cut them loose, and then you move on. You understand?
Yes,
All right, thank you. You have a dismissal?
He's getting better.
Okay,
Thank you very much, Judge. Thank
All
you
right,
for your
Joe.
consideration.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Is Wetron in the box? Where's Wetron? All right, come forward. Yes.
I had our first setting trial case during our second setting. I have to be in the
I'm sorry, going for what? I'm sorry, what is your case?
Yvette Martinez, it's an intox assault case. Today's the first setting.
Okay, just give me a moment. I'll take it up after this.
All
right, good morning.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Judge.
All right, you filed a motion for continuance.
Yeah, Judge.
All right, state any objections? All right,
Judge, I found that last week. Thought I could be ready in 2 weeks. By the end of the week, I had it to the next week.
I'm sorry, by the end of the week, what?
I realized the experts were correct. I can't do it. I'm asking for a continuance. It's the first week of May.
Okay, and which case are you all going on? Does anybody know yet?
Sorry, Judge.
Okay, that's
They're
okay.
leaving it in the office, so, and I don't even know who.
Yeah, I mean, it would be one of those.
So, counsel, how long do you expect this trial to go?
Depends on what case they go on.
All right, well, let's just assume they're going on the most complicated case. All right, are videos?
Other videos.
There are videos in some of those cases.
And how long are the videos in your most complicated of case?
I don't, Judge, their witness list was 187 people, so I don't recall.
Oh, I don't think anybody's gonna call 187 witnesses.
All I can say is that
If there are 187 witnesses, we may have another judge take that up. Okay. All right, so counsel, I've read your motion. And here's the thing about investigators. I always give people the amount of money they're asking for an investigator. But once I've signed a motion for an investigator, I never follow the recommended guideline. I base it upon the nature of the case and my experience. But when people ask for more, I always say, how much more do you need? And generally, just give me in general, what is it for? So
there's not a problem at this point. There was an issue later, earlier, and I did that. I actually filed 3 motions. You
Okay,
gave me only a
because-
portion of what I asked for, but now we're okay.
okay, but here's the thing. I'm not going to sign a motion for continuance where it says effort was hindered by denying funding for an investigator, because as I say in this court, I always give people more than what they're asking for in an investigator. And then when they ask for more than what I've given, I always say, in general, what is it about? And honestly, the only reason why I ask that is because we've been asked to do that because of funding issues. So I'm usually very generous with the investigators.
But in this case, that would not happen. I asked for something like 3 or 4,000, and you gave me 600.
So your motion for
But that's
continue, yeah, okay,
If you want to strike that language, I have no problem.
okay. And so, Ms. Ferguson, when do you guys want to come back?
First week of May or later.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, this is Criminal Trial Division. When can we place this? All right, is May 16th good for you?
Yes.
All right, you need to check your calendar or anything?
Already been sitting back there.
Okay. 16th day of May. All right, is there anything else you need? All right, and an offer has been tendered, correct?
It's not what it is. It has been tendered, yes. It's been-
Okay, so what I'm going to do with regards to your May 16th date, because I know you've been out and I know we have new prosecutors. So Mr. Wheatron, I'm going to make May 16th your plea deadline date and also your trial date. You understand? So if you decide to go to trial, we'll have one available. If you decide to plea, I will allow you to plea on that date.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else anyone else needs?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And Mr. Rittenhour,
Let's go.
Mom and I send our prayers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, counsel, who do you have? All right, Yvette Martinez. Where's Yvette Martinez? All right, hello. State, what is happening on this case? Where are you, counsel?
But just today,
Excuse me, you need to slide over.
I gave it all.
Okay. Counsel, do you have all the discovery?
Believe so. There's a lot of it. I believe so. I'm not positive.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can I have a 30-day reset on Yvette Martinez? All right, May 8th will be your discovery date to make sure that you have all the discovery. Then after that, the court will give you your plea deadline date.
All right, appreciate it. We'll see you on May 8th.
Yes, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. You're welcome. Luis Gomez. Have you conferred on Luis Gomez? All right,
Judge, we can get your signature on these documents.
thank you. Oh, thank you.
Judge,
Sure.
I have received an offer. Mr. Silva's on Zoom. I haven't conveyed him the offer.
Okay, he hasn't zoomed in.
Oh, he says, I've talked to him since 8 o'clock. And he's-
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
He's telling me stories. I just talked to him. He said, I'm on Zoom. So.
No, he said, he,
No, that's fine. I believe you. I corrected him this morning. I said, we're not Zooming anymore. I don't think. So you should be-
well, no, he can Zoom because he had work commitments.
Okay.
And so he said his lunch break is at noon, so I was giving him till noon.
Judge, I need to meet an appliance repairman with regard to my refrigerator.
Sure.
So I'd like to do it in a few minutes so I can meet him to let him know about it, and everything.
Sure.
So I would be probably gone the rest of the afternoon. I have an offer.
Okay.
But I haven't been able to talk to Mr. Silver about it because I just got the offer. But
All right.
my discovery is complete.
So if you want to talk to him off docket, could I see the file on Luis Silva, please?
I'm just thinking about conveying him the offer, Judge.
Okay.
Getting his decision. Turning to you at some point.
Okay.
But making sure, like you want the discovery done, so.
Norma. On Luis Silva. What day can we recall this week? All right, so we can come back on Thursday. Will you be able to get in touch with your client?
I feel sure. I've talked to him this morning twice, so.
All right.
Answer.
So we'll come back on Thursday, the 6th, and let him know that if he needs to appear by Zoom because he's at work, we'll make that happen.
I'm gonna start a trial in the morning on 175th, but we'll see how Thursday works out.
Okay.
But it's supposedly a trial. So this morning, continuous sexual. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
All right.
As a matter of course, very quickly,
Yes.
you have a file up on a Jason Brown, it's a PSI. And if I could give you this, I showed these to Jason, they're just some letters. I'm gonna go talk to my witnesses, I'll be ready in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to do that.
Okay. All right, thank you. Yes.
I was just informed when I got this reset on Martinez and signed that I have another case set in your court this morning. I was unaware that I don't have a file with me, totally unprepared. It's a first setting case.
All right, well, have you talked to your client?
That's right.
All right, so once you talk to him, then approach. All right, who's here on Sergio Garcia? Sergio Garcia. Hi. All right, and where is Sergio Garcia? Come forward.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. How are you doing?
You're in the middle.
I'm loving the pen as always.
Thank you. Going with the green today.
So today is your plea deadline date.
So Mr. Garcia is decided that he is not accepting the plea deal.
Okay.
We had filed motions about 30 days ago. We have not, they have not been ruled on, but we have not received anything affirmative, like a witness list or anything like that.
Okay.
So I'd like those motions, or very briefly, they're static 5 motions in each case. If we could just very briefly hear those and the court could rule, that would be wonderful.
Okay. So what I can do is I can put your motions. Ms. Ferguson, can we put this on April 24th for motions? So I can put your motions on April 24th, and then when we come back on April 24th, I'll give you your jury trial setting.
That'd be perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Garcia. Garcia, thank you.
Christopher Cantu. No, just this.
I believe we're here on discovery.
Yes, we are.
And so
So have you received your discovery?
Your Honor, we have not. I do understand this case is for discovery compliance hearing today. There's no fault of the councils. This seemingly fell through the cracks on my end, Your Honor, and we did not subpoena anybody from EPS. As to the status of that, I did send a request to my advocate this morning to follow up.
Everyone, please whisper.
To follow up with DPS on the status of those records, since they were requested back on January 17th. That is all I can update the public.
All right, so I'm going to give one more reset for CPS records. After that, somebody needs to subpoena someone from Child Protective Services to come in and explain why the records are not present.
Understood. We're following up with that today to see if we can get an answer.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Cantu for discovery.
that works for me.
All right, we'll be back on May 11th, Mr. Cantu.
Thank you, Judge.
Jose Torres. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 11241, State of Texas versus Jose Torres. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
For the defendant.
are you Mr. Torres? Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Torres, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we move to proceed on counts 2 and 3 and waive count 1.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and counts 2 and 3, are those indecencies?
Yes, Your Honor. Same
All right.
number.
Mr. Torres, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand in count 2 and count 3, you're charged with indecency with a child by contact? That's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court doesn't have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand that the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? You're gonna have to speak up.
Yes, sir.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could sentence you up to 20 years and up to $10,000 fine in count 2 and 3. Did you understand? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Torres, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Satisfied with the way you've been represented? I'm sorry. Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Little bit more. Yes.
All right. Has anyone coerced you, threatened you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at 4 years in count 2 and 3. State will remain silent on your application. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance and no contact with the complainants. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
There are none, Your Honor.
Then to count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
It's 2 and 3, Judge, I think.
I'm sorry. To count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? To count 3, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
State's exhibit number 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may continue to confer. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, could I see the state? Bring us back. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of counts 1 and 2. Court will defer finding of conviction on counts 1 and 2 as you've applied for deferred adjudication. We will come back on June 1st. At that time, the court will make a decision on your application based upon the PSI report and any other evidence that's presented to me. Counsel, is a TAP evaluation needed or no?
I don't think so, Judge.
All right, we'll see you back on June 1st. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. You're welcome. Who's here on Michael Cox?
Present, Your Honor.
All right, where's Mr. Cox?
Currently in the hospital, Your Honor. I do have a note here. He had smoke inhalation just happened. Yes,
You want to come around? I don't know why people gonna, you know what, whoever knocks that over, there will be financial charges for that.
And good, Judge. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
I'm asking that we get recall the Wednesday. Your Honor. The state has agreed to recall Wednesday. The court is not this.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, when can we recall Mr. Cox? All right, we'll be back on Thursday, April 6th.
I can do it.
All right, we'll see you on April 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, if you guys will wait, I'm taking everybody in the order in which they appear. So when I receive the file, that's the order you'll go in.
I go to other courts, I'm doing 3 other felonies.
We're recessing at 12, so you can do that, but we're recessing at 12.
Well, Judge,
I misunderstood. What are we doing it well?
We're recessing at 12. Everybody here is going on lunch break at 12. All right, who's here on John Stephen Meyer?
Doesn't, Mr. Minor. This morning, trying to get a hold of him.
Okay,
North,
all right. Court is calling 2022 CR 9302 and 2023 CR 0562B. State of Texas versus John Stephen Meyer. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett.
Defense? All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:23 a.m. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not been mentioned this morning, Judge. We were here a week ago and it was reset today for discovery compliance.
Okay.
And he was in court a week ago and I've had contact with him constantly until today.
All right, Deputy, could you make the announcement for John Stephen Meyer?
Judge, just to let you know, there is 2 files in 2 cases.
Yes.
Okay, it's fine. I just wanna make
Oh,
sure.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Judge, is it possible to do a bond increase instead of bond forfeiture in these cases?
Well, let's see if he may be out in the hallway. Have some faith. I know because of, we're off the record. I know because of Texas A&M standing in football that maybe, there's a lack of faith going on.
Wow.
I say that we'll see how LSU does, But we can tease each other. All right, we're back on the record.
Congratulations on the national championship.
Yes. Oh, it's a win for one is a win for all. All right, state.
State's requesting a bond forfeiture.
All right, I'll do a judge's warrant and remand your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider, and that is a judge's warrant in each cause number.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Judge, can I approve?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Luis Silva. Luis Silva. Okay, he's not. Oh, this is the one that it's coming back on April 6th. Let me see. I have Jason Brown, and I'm just waiting for Robert Mauer on that one. All right, whenever he's ready. Yvette Martinez. Yvette Martinez. Oh, okay. Why do I? Oh, that's okay. Let me make sure because. Okay. Joseph Harris. Who's the attorney for Joseph Harris? All right. Luis Gomez. Okay. Jaime Pena. Christopher Barreau. Okay. All righty. We'll just call their clients back every day to the time.
Have a seat, sir. Your attorney's not here. Have a seat.
Are you ready, Mr.
I
Meyer?
am, yes. Judge, I have, besides others, I have 3 witnesses, but I'll be brief.
Okay,
And my client.
all right. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 5303, State of Texas versus Jason Brown. Can our parties approach and announce for the record for the state?
Jason here.
Defense?
Robert Mauer for defendant, Your Honor.
Ed Parker for the other 3 cases.
Where do you want us?
You hear your clients in the middle. All right, are you Mr. Brown? All right, have both parties received the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, I'm sorry.
State, any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor. None for
Defense.
defense.
All right, according to the plea bargaining agreement, you entered a plea to possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. You entered a plea on January 17th. The punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 7 years, and the state is silent on your applications. All right, the state is silent. State, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
I do, Judge. I'd like to call Tatiana Rover, please.
Tatiana, what's the last name?
Rover, Rover.
Tatiana Rover, if you'll come forward, please. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
Tatiana Rover.
I
All right,
proceed.
yes.
Tatiana, what is your relationship to Jason Brown? And you were with him in a vehicle at the time he was arrested on the felon possession of a firearm 2022-10248 and the unlawful possession of body armor 10249 that are set to be taken into consideration on this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
And were the gun and the body armor in question yours?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell the judge what why you had those 2 items?
I worked overnight at my father's nightclub, and the morning that we got pulled over, I still had my body armor from the night before and my gun from the night
Okay,
before.
what is your job?
A security guard. I watched the door for him.
And are you
Check
licensed?
that.
Are you a licensed security guard?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
I just wanted the court to be aware of that situation with the 2 cases that are taken into consideration. Mr. Brown was arrested. She had told the officers at the time that the body armor and the firearm were both hers. I think they were in the trunk, is my understanding. But he was arrested and charged anyway.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have.
Any questions, state? All right, and the court is in receipt of the photographs and the letters. State, do you have any objection to the court having reviewed those? I guess I'm doing it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission on that. But since we have a full docket, I wanted to make sure I had read it, but defense had already informed the court that they have reviewed them. All right, call your next witness.
Judge, I'd like to call AC Bryant.
And I'm sorry, the last name?
Bryant.
Yeah. AC Bryant. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is AC Bryant, the third.
Defense.
Mr. Bryant, how do you know Jason Brown?
I was Jason Brown, one of Jason Brown's coaches, boxing coaches in 2015, and currently I am one of the head coaches trying to recruit him onto our boxing.
All right, could you keep your voice up?
I'm one of the head coaches trying to recruit him onto our boxing league, and I've known him since 2015. He's helped out with our youth program.
Okay, so tell the judge what you talked about recruiting Jason for your boxing program. Tell the judge about this boxing program.
There's a new boxing league in America. It's called the Team Combat League. There's 8 teams across the nation. There's a wrestling in the East Coast Conference. Jason tried out for both the San Antonio and the Dallas teams. Substantially, he may be called back roster pending the legal duties.
So you said that you dealt with Jason. Can you tell the judge about Jason's help with your youth program or youth boxing?
So I have a gym in San Antonio called Imperial Boxing Academy, and Jason has helped not only develop but help run our youth program that we've been doing to help outreach young youth who are in trouble, who otherwise couldn't afford their boxing training, but he's helped put that together, and he's one of our mentors.
Okay, and would you describe the program that you're having Jason work with, the kids being at risk?
Yeah, highly at risk. So we are based on the Kirby East Side area, and those youth that have been identified either by pastor or other individuals within the community as far as needing those services. Jason not only helped develop it, but he's one of our main people who help talk to the people because he's went through that lifestyle. And so he's telling, I think it benefits the youth from his experiences and learning from his experiences, not trying to reproduce anything he's ever found in his life.
So if the judge gives Jason probation, are you willing, are you telling the judge that you will have, I guess, a job with either you or the San Antonio team, that he will have your support on probation?
Oh, 1,000%. The only reason I'm here is to make sure that Jason has the opportunity to join our team, because not only is he's a needed talent within that league, but also for the youth, for his continued support to the youth program. I believe that he'll be a force multiplier when it comes to helping people within our society to learn from the mistakes.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions, Chair.
All right, State.
No question.
All right, you can call your next witness.
Judge, I'd like to call Willie Hall.
All right, Willie Hall. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Willie Irwin Hall.
All right, defense.
Mr. Hall, can you tell Judge Boyd a little bit about yourself and your educational background?
Well, I came from Roswell, New Mexico, alien territory.
Did you see any aliens there?
No, I didn't see them. To San Antonio, Texas. I have to San Antonio grown seniors. I did make the team, and I coached at Breckenridge High School as a I was there 38 years, officially retired 2 years after. I've been in San Fernando since the 83.
And when you were coaching at Breckenridge, did you have a chance to meet Jason Brown?
Yes, I did. He was, I can tell you, he was a rough kind of kid. He was strong-willed. He looked like me to like a Mike Tyson type young fellow. He had that aggression.
And but as you worked with him, did you start to see some changes in him?
Definitely, once we got past the, I believe, I would say trust issues, he started working with me, started working with the other kids, and he was somewhat of a say mini coach, and helped with things that he could. I saw a big change once he's started to develop his program.
Okay, now, are you a coach with this World Combat League as well?
I am the head coach in the San Antonio. Yes, and Jason tried out for the team.
Okay, now you and I talked about Jason's criminal history as far as the arrest and things like that. Can you tell the judge what you think is different about Jason now moving forward that she could take a chance on giving him probation?
Well, his whole persona is different. He cares about having a job, taking care of his family. It's a whole different guy. I mean, none of those were talked about to begin with. I can see that even a couple of years He started to take on more responsibility. And, but that was a good thing. So I gave him more responsibility.
So if the judge gives him probation, you're willing to give him, I guess, a position on your team?
Absolutely. What would have to happen now? Injury takes place and it would be the first alternate.
Okay. And would you, I guess, help support Jason in complying with the conditions of his probation?
Absolutely. He's come a long way in his attitude, his behavior, and he thinks about the things that he's doing greatly now.
Do you think he's worth Judge Boyd taking a risk on giving him probation?
Absolutely. He's turned himself around and I'd hate to see him go backwards. I'd hate to see that.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell the judge about Jason?
Other than he has made some changes. I know about kids because I've been in coach for 41 years and I know when they're kind of blindsided or when they're trying to tell me the story, he's taking the responsibility and doing the things that he's supposed to be doing.
I have nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you for coming in and giving me some insight.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Mr. Brown,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you a choice. Here's your choice. You can do 5 years in prison, or as the deputies like to tell me, or you can do Judge Boyd's probation, which my probations are not easy because I expect to see people improve. And my main goal when I place people on probation is because I want them to be rehabilitated. So if you don't think you can do this probation, then tell me now and we'll move on to the next person. All right, so what is this gang affiliation they're alleging in the?
Judge, I don't know. I had another client where there was allegations about gang affiliation, but it wasn't based upon, I had no, part of the issue is they make decisions about gang affiliation, sometimes based upon hearsay as opposed to any sort of proof other than just saying, we think this person's gang affiliate. I had my one client in this court, they thought it was gang affiliate because they thought he had an Alamo tattoo on his neck and it was the White House. So I don't quite know.
We know what the White House is, but okay. I mean, we know the meaning behind
So
it.
I don't
but-
judge, I don't know what the specific allegations are.
All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years deferred adjudication, take in consideration 2022 CR 10248, 2022 CR 10249, 2022 CR 10259. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I understand that they're saying they want him to give talks to minors. If he's just giving talks to minors about the error of his ways, he can do that, but only under supervision. I'm going to put in their gang supervision council. If they discover this is false, then we won't have that. I'm going to do mid caseload as well. Where's probation? Okay, thank you. I don't have my glasses on. I didn't see you over there. 300 hours of community service restitution. He's to complete intensive parenting classes. If he completes that, then the community service hours will be considered satisfied. Partial GPS for work. If it comes down to him boxing and he can't have GPS, then just let the court know. There's to be no unsupervised with minors. The court will reconsider that once he completes his parenting classes. Restitution of $298 to SAP for testing. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month until further notice. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Probation, if you want to count the field visits as reporting, you can. And I'm going to want random UAs.
Judge, if I could get some clarification on if he's helping out with the mentor program or youth boxing, it's okay with the court as long as it's supervised.
Yes.
Okay.
and that he's not receiving payment for that.
And I'll come back and talk to the court when we find out more about the boxing league, the combat league.
All right, and probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
And let me see if they recommended it. Okay. Anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, the only time I should see you back here is because your attorney is requesting that you be released early. I should not see you back here for violations. You understand? In this court, communication is key. If there's an issue with probation, you need to let them know what the issue is. If you need something, let them know. If for any reason you feel as though they're not addressing that, then let the court know. We're here Monday through Friday. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, they have them. I don't have the paper with me anymore. They haven't. Sure. Stephen Ward. Stephen Ward. I'm sorry, have a seat. Your attorney's not here. Ah, come forward. What's happening with this case? All right, how long, you're on this side, counsel. How long do you expect this trial to last? State?
3 days, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need,
I would take more like 5 minutes.
are there videos in this case?
Video, a lot of medical records.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. It's family violence. They're saying it'll take about 4 days. All right, we'll be back on June 6th. Ms. Ferguson will give you your recent form. Your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargains in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Annabelle Bishop.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What's happening with this case?
It's the first setting, we review discovery.
No, this isn't the first setting. The first setting was March 23rd, and there was a no-show. Then it was March 27th, there was a no-show. March 28th, no-show. So this is the fourth setting.
This point, the state has agreed to reset the matter for 6 days because we have some false prosecutions. You're trying to find out what's going to happen.
Okay, I'm not resetting for this for 60 days. Do you have all the discovery, counsel? All right, state, have you been prepared to tender an offer or no?
None of this time, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall this in 3 weeks, state at that time you'll need to tender an offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see you back on April 17th
Maybe excuse me.
after she signs a reset form.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. James Brooks. Yes,
Your approach,
yes. What is happening with the transfer to mental health court?
Your Honor, in going over the requirements of the program, my client would like to respectfully decline that and proceed with trial on merits.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date.
No.
It's criminal trial division. It's cruelty to non-livestock. All right, your jury trial date will be May 16th. That will also be your plea deadline date. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Your Honor. May you excuse?
Yes. Priscilla Gonzalez. Who's the attorney on Priscilla Gonzalez? Court is calling 2022 CR 9680, State of Texas versus Priscilla Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Christine McDonald for the.
Are you Priscilla Gonzalez? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on count one and waiving.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
You're waiving count 2 and 3?
Yes.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? In count 1, you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? I can't hear you.
Your Honor, may I talk to her?
Sure.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor, we have previously had my client evaluated for competency, Judge, and we had those results and she was found competent, Judge.
Right. Do you believe she was sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, states proceeding on count 1, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 13 years in the prison. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution, if any, to Ruth, Frank, and Dava Turner. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, there's to be no contact with Ruth Turner, Frank Tanner, and Dava Turner. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow your recommendations? Then to count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No.
State any evidence.
State offers states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. You'll come back on May 11th. At that time, the court will make a decision on your application based upon the PSI TAP evaluation. Do you understand? and any other evidence that's presented. All right, thank you. And probation, there'll be a MIC evaluation as well. Kevin Robinson. Hello. All right, so today is plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge, we'd like to be moved to the jury trial docket.
All right, Mr. Robinson, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
I do.
How long do you expect this trial to last?
Approximately 3 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date, family violence, 3 days. All right, we'll come back on June 6th. Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Raymond Ruiz. All right, so you're requesting a jury trial?
Judge, we had requested the last time we were here.
Okay, well, we're currently in a jury trial. I can't be in 2 places at the same time. So how long is this jury trial gonna last?
2 to 4 days, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Raymond Ruiz, it's criminal trial division. All right, May 16th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
What's the earliest?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Joseph Harris. Jaime, I'm sorry, Mr. Harris, your attorney's not here. Jaime Pena? Where's the attorney for Jaime Pena?
That's the one from earlier.
Yes.
Still hang out here. Come on in.
All right, State, were you able to tender an offer?
Mr. Counsel would confirm with Ms. Mitchell. I don't know if she-
Was an offer
No,
confirmed?
because she wants to speak with the complaining witness's mother, the complaining witness being a child.
All right, do you have all the discovery?
No, Judge, I was just hired on this on Friday, so I haven't had a chance to really check. And I think there's a child safe video. So I would say, no, I don't have the discovery yet.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Jaime Pena, please?
And Judge, I have a vacation letter on file from April 20th to May 20th.
All right,
May 8th? No, I'll be on a cruise ship on May 8th.
all right, so how long is your, from April when?
April 20th to May 20th.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, if we can recall this for April 17th. All right, we'll see you on April 17th. Luis Gomez. Luis Gomez, just have a seat. Your attorney's not here. Christopher Barode. All right. It's almost 12. You can get ready to start taking people back. Who is your client?
Yes, me, Your Honor.
Yes. Are you ready to proceed?
Anytime the court is.
All right, just have them pull the file and we'll take it up. Okay. Matthew Gonzalez? Okay.
So PSI, we got moving here ready.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Court is calling 2022 CR 10839, State of Texas versus Matthew Gonzalez.
We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Urban Ferrer for the state.
Defense?
Daniel Garza for the defendant.
All right, and are you Mr. Gonzalez? You entered a plea of guilty to count 1 on February 7th. You applied for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes,
Defense?
We have, Your Honor, and I've reviewed the same with my client.
All right, any objections to the PSI report, state?
No objection.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Any witnesses state? Defense?
Your Honor, yes, I would like to call Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please. All right, defense?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. And just for the record, Your Honor, I did tender to the court a copy of a mitigation report.
Yes, and the court has reviewed the mitigation report.
Thank you, Your Honor. So for the purpose of brevity, I'm not going to ask him, where did he grow up, that kind of stuff. The court already is well aware of it in both the PSI and the mitigation report. So I'm asking just some questions about what's going on, and then I'll ask you to grant his application. Okay?
Sure.
So can you state your name for the record, sir?
Matthew Robert Gonzalez.
Okay. And you're the same Matthew Gonzalez that's been charged in this offense, right?
I am.
And they are, for lack of a better terms, of sex, right?
It is.
And the judge knows exactly what happened, was stipulated to the evidence, right?
Yes,
And first off, do you accept responsibility for what happened?
I do.
And full responsibility?
I accept full responsibility.
Have you ever tried to minimize your guilt?
I have not.
When the police came and started investigating the crime, what did you do?
Honest with them from the very beginning.
And so the court knows you gave a full-throated confession of everything that happened, right?
Yes,
And that was outside of the police patrol vehicle, right?
yes.
And that was the night that was that the night that you were arrested?
Same night.
And in fact, they didn't know about the sex assault count, right? That was basically self-confessed by you?
Yes.
Thank you. And tell the judge, how long have you been on pretrial supervisions?
I have been on pretrial supervision for the past year and a half.
Okay.
And where have you been working during that time, sir?
I've been working as a diesel mechanic at Shuttle Centers of America on the truck service side.
And what do you do there?
I specialize in heavy duty trailer repair for the past year and a half. Since then, my boss has granted me my own shop, which is my own vehicle. Since then, I've learned, since this charge, I've ceased going to school, and I've made this my career essentially.
And what it says, not clear, what is it again?
Heavy duty trailer repair.
Diesel mechanic is what the PSI says, right?
Yes,
Is that
diesel
it?
mechanic, yes.
And how much money do you make doing that?
Over 100,000,
And I saw on the PSI about $70 per hour.
$70 per hour.
Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
That was accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay, and then let me ask you, sir, you have been on what I would consider a high level of supervision, correct?
Yes,
Have you been wearing a GPS device?
I have.
And then as part of the judge allowing you to go to work, did they establish like what I would call a child safety zone around the mechanic shop?
Correct.
And where is that mechanic shop?
The mechanic shop, specifically where I work in, is about 100 or 200 feet away from the actual power center itself. So majority of my day, of course, when I walk in the morning, I have to walk through the shop, but majority of my day is far away actually from the actual shop. So
And the reason why the court established that zone is to keep you away from minor children, right?
yes, it is.
As a condition of your pretrial supervision, right?
It is
Okay. And how many violations have you had during the time that you're on pretrial supervision?
0.
And how many times did you, I don't know, cut off your monitor?
0.
How many times did it go off in the middle of the night that you're not in compliance?
Never.
And I asked you how many violation reports you've had, right?
Correct.
Never been in front of the judge where you've done something bad and you had to explain what you did bad on pretrial supervision?
Never.
And sir, and then that high level of supervision that you complied with, if you were granted your application for deferred adjudication today, would you continue on with that compliance?
I would do whatever the judge requests me to do, no problem whatsoever.
What's your criminal history like?
I don't have one.
And your father, briefly, he was a police officer for how many years?
Well over 30.
And then did this offense did he retire because of it?
He did. He retired. He lost his police career behind him. I actually hired him on. I actually have currently 3 trainees under me. I've since actually trained.
So let's back up. So your father works with you now,
He does.
doing the diesel mechanic stuff?
Yep, he's in the exact same band I am, and we're literally with each other 24/7 at this point.
And y'all live together?
We do.
Is he supportive of your well-being,
He is.
making sure that you comply with your pretrial supervision conditions?
He does.
Would he help you comply with everything that you need compliance with if you were granted deferred adjudication today?
Absolutely.
And then as part of deferred adjudication, again, you've never denied that this happened, right?
Correct.
And then are you motivated to, you're gonna be required to go some kind of sex offender therapy and treatment? Are you motivated for that?
I am.
As part of that, you're gonna be required to accept responsibility and participate in those sessions. Are you willing to do all that?
I have no problem with it.
One second, Ron.
Yes.
Anything else that you'd like to tell the judge as far as what you want to see happen today?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd be, and I think I know that the forever grateful when we get to grant me deferred adjudication. Like I said, I've become a mentor in my job. I've trained people as far as Arizona. I have training right now, I just speak from Oklahoma. I've trained all of the state of Texas as far as what I do personally. My company is growing and growing. They're heavily dependent on me. I would feel extremely bad to have left them behind and left them without me and my presence there to uplift the environment and train the people that they require me to. I can't stress that enough. I feel like I let them down if I were to go away.
Sir, does this job have any contact with minor children?
They do not. It's a truck stop primarily. So it's, the only people that I have in bays are truckers. And they are not allowed in bays. And they're only there when they get off their vehicle and into the service center. I don't have any contact with them due to my contract being specifically with Amazon. I only have contact with tow truck drivers and that's it. I do not have any contact with any minors whatsoever in my job.
Okay, Your Honor, I think I've elicited what I need to hear, so I will stay silent.
Okay.
Pass the witness.
All right, so this is my question and my concerns, because sometimes cases are about people overstepping boundaries.
Right.
So I don't understand. You're in the household with your fiance and you're creeping into her daughter's room. Now, I saw the statement where the daughter is saying she consented. I saw the statement where the mom is saying this has happened before with somebody else.
Right.
So explain that to the court.
Initially, Your Honor, that was not the case. I viewed this young girl at the time as an innocent child. I didn't expect any of this to ever happen in my life. This is not my goal. I was purely seeking to be a role model to her. Things became askew, and whether it was her past or my past, where we had been through, things happened the way they should not have happened. And I bear deep remorse for it. All of 2022 was extremely hard for me. Dealing with that remorse. 2023, I put all my faith in the Lord, and I pray that He and you forgive me, and of course the state. I am not going to stand here and say it was okay. I'm not going to stand here and try to evade what I did. I'm only here to let you know, and all those witnesses know that it's not me. That was not me. It's never what I meant.
Anything else, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Couple things.
Yes.
I'd like to point out that the complainant's mother is in the courtroom today.
Yes.
She's not supported as far as, relationships with him or anything like that. But I know you see in the PSI that she would like the application granted, not so they can get back together or anything weird like that, but because she feels like that's, the appropriate punishment in her mind. I know that it's up to the court, of course. But, and Judge, and just notably, we always take into account what victims, I know at least in my dealings with the prosecutors on this and every other case, they always take into account what the victim wants. And that's what they want, is they want the application granted, Your Honor. So just so the court knows, and she's here and I've talked to her and she still feels that way. I'm not going to put her through anything, as far as making her come up and tell you that, but that is definitely how she feels. So with that, that's all I have as far as presentation. I just like to argue to you.
Okay, and I understand that the complainant is 15 and, 15 to 17, whatever that gap means in maturity, whatever that gap means in emotional maturity. I know that's the cutoff, what the legislature had placed it at. But to do this in his fiance's house with his fiance's daughter, I find that concerning because the fiance, I'm assuming, was somebody he's supposed to love and was in love with. But I'll hear your argument, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, and I think, and thank you, Judge, and thank you for listening to us today. I do agree with the court. That is very concerning. So what do we do with this man? I think his history and characteristics, though, I don't think it calls for prison. I think we label him a sex offender. We make him register, of course. We put him on deferred adjudication for 10 years, Judge. And at that point in time, he's giving you that low cap back. And that cap, I would argue to you, is low for a reason. And I think, and that's, my dealings with the state, of course. And I think that, it's a 5-year cap on a 2 to 20 range of punishment. So I think that if he is granted the application and this man so much as jaywalks, Judge, he gives you back that cap and you can send him for 20 years to prison for what he's done. I would just submit to the court, Your Honor, that based upon the history and the characteristics of this man, I think rehabilitation and supervision is the answer. It's not prison, Judge. He comes from a good family. He's done some good in his life as far as the Air Force and stuff like that. He's got a job, a tough job. And I think he's done well for himself, despite the fact that he's in this major amount of trouble. This isn't a little, marijuana case. This is major stuff. And I do agree with the court. It's concerning. So what do? I think we supervise him. We put him in front of Dr. Ellie or the people that stop the sex offender treatment people. We make him, go through all that very arduous counseling that he needs to go through. And I ask that you grant the application, Judge, for all that.
And state you're silent. The state is silent. Thank you very much.
But not on you, Judge. And we were very close. So, I was harping on them about a recommendation, but I support, I've also seen the 25 years for the other choose the victim twice. That was their concern, and I understand that that's yours too. But Judge, I don't think prison's the right thing for him, though. I really don't. And for all those reasons that we talked about in the mitigation report and everything else.
All right, have the mom come up here.
America? Mr. Procedural?
Yes. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right. Did anybody want to ask questions or want me to ask questions?
I can ask the judge. However the court would.
You can ask questions.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Ms. Saldana. So now you've been called up here, right? And you recognize Matthew, right? And y'all were in a relationship, is that correct?
Yeah.
And at some point in time, he was having inappropriate relations with your daughter. Is that right? And then, we're here today because the judge has so the range of punishment was 2 to 20 years. We've bargained down to 2 to 5 years in prison, right? Texas Department of Criminal Justice, prison, right? Or probation, deferred probation. What would you like to see the judge do today?
Confirmed with my daughter, in regards to the whole situation. It has been over a year and a half, through counseling and everything like that. We both feel, we would like to move forward. And we both feel, we are okay with deferred, probation.
I mean, do you want to see him go to prison?
We would like to have him have a second chance. He was never, obviously disregarding situation, he was never bad to us. He is character-wise, he's a very good person. I'm not sure why any of these things happen. But deep down, I think we know that wasn't him. So we discussed and we would, would like him to have a second chance.
And does your daughter want him to have probation?
She does, yes.
Is Child Protective Services involved in your life, or were they involved with regards to this incident?
Yes.
And what has happened with that case?
The case was closed. Everything was On my end, it's okay.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for coming in. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this for April 6th. At that time, the court will make its decision.
Okay, Your Honor.
Chance Silzik.
Good evening.
Yes, I can get the reset form. All
Mr. Guerin had just stepped out, Judge.
right, what's happening with this case?
Well, I'd like to go through my discovery motion line by line at this point, Judge, because we have trial May 2nd and there's still things that haven't been turned over that I'd like you to rule on. So I guess.
Okay,
Guerin
so
can come back.
we will come back and we will come back on,
Here he is.
all right, we'll come back on, Ms. Ferguson, can we bring this back on April 10th?
What day is that, Judge? I'm sorry.
That's a Monday.
Yes, okay.
All right,
So
we'll,
Monday?
yes, and we'll go over your motions at that time.
We'll see you next Monday. then.
All right, thank
But we're
you.
not moving the trial date, right?
No, no, the trial date stays.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Luis Gomez.
Yeah. next
And the
Monday.
files I have in my possession are the only ones that were going on. Everything else is being sent back. Okay, sure. Luis Gomez. All right, just have a seat. Joseph Harris.
Right here. Oh. Here you go.
All right, Mr. Harris, come forward. Mr. Cox is your,
For record, he dressed appropriately, Judge.
oh, he
And
is.
Congratulations.
We came, we saw, we conquered. Oh, it was.
But anyway, sorry.
April 3rd. Today is the plea deadline date. So is he accepting the offer or he wants a jury trial?
They made me an offer he could not help but refuse.
Okay. State, how long you expect this trial to last?
Depends on, well, guilt innocence, Judge, I imagine 2 days.
All right,
Days,
Ms. Ferguson?
Judge,
Oh, unless there's a,
this will not be a 2-day trial. I thought he was gonna say maybe 2 weeks,
oh, this is not gonna be a 2-week trial.
Judge. This will probably be a 2-week trial.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson? All right, well, State, are there any videos?
Lot
There's
of,
a short video, yeah.
All right, any videos that are 13 hours total?
but there's at least 100 different videos. I mean, not of exactly the incident, but there's a lot of videos. The case will last at least, I think, perhaps 2 weeks. Judge.
No. All right, Ms. Ferguson, we're gonna see what happens. I'm predicting this trial will be completed in 4 days. We will see where it goes. If you don't have any videos that are at least in totality 13 hours, that's where I'm gonna put it at. It's criminal trial division.
Okay.
All right, July 18th.
Okay, July 18th. Judge?
Yes. And Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's for jury trial. Christopher Barode. All right, your attorney's not here. So we will see you back tomorrow. Can we recall this tomorrow, Ms. Ferguson? All right,
Tomorrow. I just came back from the 30th.
I know. Who's your attorney?
30, I fired her, Stacy Cross, she was fired on the 30th. I don't know why she's still on. Right now. I thought she told me that.
Yeah, she hasn't filed a motion to withdraw. So we'll see you back tomorrow, Ms. Ferguson. Put this on tomorrow. All right, let them know you're in the 187th District Court. Let them know that you're in the 187 District Court.
Tell my attorney in Austin, Texas, that I'm going to court out here.
What I'm telling you is your court date is set for tomorrow.
Another court date set tomorrow too, in Austin, Texas, Travis County.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form.
How will I be able to come to this court day if I have a court somewhere else?
All right, who's here on Luis Gomez? All right, do you have Elizio Perez Rodriguez?
Yes, he's in custody. I was just gonna ask the court if we can get a reset for a contested hearing on it.
All right, how many witnesses?
It's probably just gonna be my client and I might just call probation.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a contested hearing date set on Mr. Lucilio Perez Rodriguez, please.
The court's where we will need an interpreter that.
Okay.
Do you have anything to speak on?
Mayor Brooks.
Just a second. All right, May 1st, contested hearing.
That works. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Who's here on Xavier Garcia?
And Your Honor.
All right. All right, so are we proceeding with this MTR?
Yes, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 1467, State of Texas versus Xavier Adrian Garcia. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Ronald Fenari for Mr. Garcia.
are you Mr. Garcia? Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilty and revoke community supervision and First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilty and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Xavier Adrian Garcia who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 1467 for the offense of driving while intoxicated on April 13, 2021 for a period of 18 months and extended for 4 months? Is that you? All right, state.
Violated condition number 2 on or about the 7th day of September 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Xavier Adrian Garcia did then and there legally marijuana and violation condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
We'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor. No objection.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine? Did you understand that? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
State, what are you requesting?
They have requested revocation, Your Honor.
Defense?
Judge, if possible, we ask the court to either keep him on the probation. I believe the time was about up on it, on that 2 years. It is a deferred case and he's 24 years old. It's a misdemeanor, but he still was deferred off his record. If the court's not inclined to do that, he does have a job at Texas Telecommunications. He lives with his girlfriend who's pregnant right now. And he also, in addition to her, helps support his 2 other children with another mother. So we would ask that the judge not, if his probation is revoked, not to sentence him to any time.
All right, so I need a trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. I don't have one.
Second chance.
You want to go around instead of going through that? All right. Court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty. Court will sentence you to 160 days at the Bexar County Jail $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent, and the court will give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. You're going to have to take care of that alcohol problem. You understand? All right, thank you. Who's here on Galvino Vara? All right, that's going to end up being recalled. Sergio Salinas. All right, what's happening with your case?
I just got restrained. I didn't even know that he had a couple of cases. That I got into lottery at some new case.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for the state's file to happen.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can you give them a 30-day reset on Mr. Salinas and it'll be for discovery? Yes, so we'll put it on May 16th for all the cases to be together.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. You're excused. We're on break. Yes.
Ms. Prowse, is it put money off the case or?
Well, I mean, that's not my call. I mean, nobody's filed anything. So that's where we are. And so, yes.
Just really briefly, while I was sitting here 2 minutes ago, I was going through my emails. It looks like she may have filed a motion to withdraw a few minutes ago.
Okay. All right. So that may have been filed a few minutes ago, but it needs to be heard.
I just wasn't sure if she had filed anything.
Yeah.